How's it going, everybody? Are we live now? Did we have a problem a little bit? Yes, we do. Okay, we're live for real though. I think I had a bug with OBS. It can't happen. My computer seems to be buggy since I updated recently. So let me start over if you guys were watching, because I don't know. I will have to watch the stream again to know if I was live or not. But welcome to another Monday live stream. Welcome to a updated version or slowly progressing version of what the Monday live stream are and will be. I plan on the future. Hey Chris. Hi Andy. Okay, yes, I'm live. I don't know if it's a delay or you guys are really with me in the chat right now, but okay, good. Slowly coming in. I plan for the future. I start to plan a little bit for the future in the sense of I really like my wing. I want the channel to be full of wing stuff. You get a small glitch every second, Rob. Try to reset your computer, because on my side it seems to be fine, but let me know if it's everybody. Hi guys, hi everybody. So it's bugging. Let me know if it's buggy. I'll restart the stream again, because yeah, it can be. Quality is poor. Okay, you know what, guys? Don't move. Stick around. I'm gonna start the stream again, and I hope it's gonna be fine. Wilbert, welcome. Andy, Benji, Rob, Patrick, bonjour. Andy, Chris, everybody. Oh, it's good in New York. Are you guys? Everything is fine in Germany, so I guess it's in Europe. Some places in Europe, guys. Let me know. Okay, I'll go on for a minute. If it's really problematic, let me know. Fine here too, Robert says. Okay, good. Let me know for the future if it's all fine or not. As usual, as soon as I start a stream, I get like 20 people try to call me. Put my phone in plane mode. Hi from Germany. Hello from Canada. Welcome to another Monday live stream. My name is Guillaume. I'm starting this all over again. My name is Guillaume, and I'm really happy to be with you guys on this Monday. A lot of people already, 15 people already in the chat. Thank you very much, guys, for being here with me. Really appreciate the fact that you take some time of your day to join us into the wonderful world of wing streaming and Monday live stream. Where I wanted to go with this Monday live stream, things are gonna evolve a little bit. I changed the name of the channel a little bit. Well, not the channel. Channel is not gonna change. Name of the stream. It used to be Monday Wing live stream or Wing live stream. That was happening every Monday. Q&A. I replaced the word wing with the word Monday in the title. Not much. I changed the intro too. Maybe I'm gonna revert back to the original one. Just redo the phrasing on that. I'm not sure about the new one, if it's cool or not. But where I want to go with this is eventually, in a long time, I will move away from the wing in a few years. I like to be on the cutting edge of technology. Maybe something new will come out from Midas, Behringer, or maybe another brand. Maybe something else out there. Hold on. Coffee's needed. If something new is coming out, I want to keep going forward with these live stream every Monday. I don't want it to become a podcast, because there's too many podcasts. I want it to be informative. I want it to be fun for you guys to watch. But that's basically the new thing that I got around. I got improvement on my background, improvement on my whole camera. I hope you guys see this. I'm improving on sound a little bit, even if it's not perfect yet. I try to improve on my setup, and moving forward, every day, every live stream, I try to make the next one better. And that is if I can speak fluent English or not. Different story. But the thing is, I want to evolve my branding a little bit. Not the channel branding. I want to keep doing wing video. A lot of new stuff coming up for the wing right around the corner. Guys, stick around. It's not fully cooked yet, but it's happening, okay? I know I said that a lot lately, but it's just being pushed back a little bit because it's not fully cooked. Wait for the new update to be cooked. There's a new firmware update right around the corner. I think it's safe for me to say so. I know people on Facebook are really vocal about it. Some people are really pissed and they want feature, but I got... I will say this. I got the list of the new feature that's coming up in the next firmware. It fixes a lot of stuff that you guys thought were missing about the console. Not everything in the next one, but it's coming. Some stuff is coming. I think it might be burned out by now. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, Chris. Yeah, I know, but it's coming soon. And when I say soon, I mean really soon, not eventually. Let's put it out this way. So, David Gilmout, I really like your name here, David. Is the Wing Waveguard sound grid available now? Not that I'm aware of. I think they're still being working on. I think this is something that has been developed for a couple of years. Probably the chip, the sound chip manufacturing process that's been delayed is delaying that too. But I think it's in the work. As far as I know, it's been worked on as we speak. When it's gonna come out, that I don't know. I have absolutely no information about it, but I know it's not abandoned. It's not, the project is still going. Trust me, there's still some stuff happening there. So eventually the Wing sound grid card will happen. You know, think about it like the X32, where the X32 came out. It was revolutionary at the time. Same thing for the Wing. It came out, a lot of stuff. One of the first few console on the market, or the first one in this price range, that had mono stereo channel per channel, so you could get 40 up to 40 stereo channel, because it always depends on your setup and what you're working on. So yeah, it's coming. The Wing is eventually going to evolve in 2 years from now. Because keep in mind, the pandemic affected a lot of stuff. Not only staff, I'm talking about parts, supply, a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff is delayed because of the manufacturing delayed and shipping delayed. So it's don't blame Music Tribe for everything. I don't know what happened there, but I know that the people that I had exchanged with are really, really hard at work. And trust me when they say they want to push stuff out as much or as fast as possible. It's just, it takes some time, and they don't want to release something that is not fully cooked. So wait for it to be done, wait for it to be ready, because the last thing that you want as a company or as a user is something that is not ready. So it's coming. Don't worry about that. It is Wave that manufacturing the sound grid card, so it's up to them. Oh, really interesting information here from Robert. That will be a question for Patrick or Robert here, David. Is the Wing based on DSP or FPGA? GPA. It's for FPGA. Okay, so can you guys enlighten me a little bit on what's the difference between DSP or FPGA? Is it? I know we're talking about, for those of you who want to follow, we're talking about the physical processor, the sound chip, or the chip that doing the processing inside the console. It's the one that taking care of calculating the effect of plugin, the processor, for the UI, stuff like that. So it's those chip, and there's like two different brand of chip or two different approach when it comes to signal processing. As far as I know, FPGA and DSP for effects. Okay, so it's both. Routing is FPGA and DSP is for effect. If anybody in the chat wants to explain a little bit what's the difference between the two, I think many people will appreciate to understand what's happening under the hood here of the wing. Speaking of under the hood, soon, knocking on wood, I will perform some stuff that were not supposed to be done on the wing. I know I talked about that recently on a few last live stream ago. I want to add some kind of under the fader LEDs, and because my wing is now officially not under warranty anymore. It's been 3 years. I can't believe it's been 3 years since that thing was released. Or I own mine since 3 years now, because some people got it in probably late January. But starting off next week, I'm gonna check the date. As soon as my console is not under warranty anymore, we will start to have fun. I want to apply some kind. I need to open up the console, see first if it's doable or not. But I want to have some kind of underlit LED from behind the fader, because I want the fader to be lit in the dark. Because the console by itself, the user interface, the physical interface here is awesome. It just needs something for the fader, and you could operate the wing in total dark and you would see everything that you're doing. Right now, you cannot see the fader. You can see all the knobs and everything, but I need to find something. I need to find a way to have it powered from the power supply. So I know I'm gonna venture in some stuff that maybe some people won't do, but I want to check if there's a 12 volt or 5 volt output available on the power supply, but a couple milliamp that can power up some LED. If not, I'm gonna apply another transformer. I'm gonna tap it to the power connector in the back, but I would try to do something exactly like Chris said, like the Soundcraft stuff. I saw that on the Soundcraft stuff. They have a little strip next to the fader that lit up, and it tells you basically where your fader are, because it's black where the fader is. So I want to try to achieve that on the wing. It will be a personal mod. I will not offer this for anybody. It will be for show only. You know, I will do the video just to proof of concept that you can do it. Okay, interesting idea here from Patrick. A small change to the wood. So we're talking about this part of wood, Patrick, right? And I can make it slightly higher and have an LED strip here. That can make sense. I could probably manufacture something like that with a friend of mine, you know, who's a really good wood guy. I can probably raise that up like an inch or two, probably the height of the fader, and have something display, you know, LED pushing that way. That could be a really good option. It could be available actually as an external unit. If I can do like a small hole inside the console and power it up from there, I would like to have that connected to the power supply of the console if possible. I would need to do my research, and I will need to check what's available in there. And I don't want to destroy the console. That's that's my main concern. Also, I want to upgrade the fan inside the console. I want to do a video on upgrading the fan. I know some people complain about the fan noise. I want to see if I can find I think it's 80 millimeter inside the power supply. You guys, you can let me know that. I want to find a Noctua fan. You know, those computers, super silent fan. I want to try to find one of these inside to put inside the console and see if there's a major difference. I want to get my dB meter, put the console on on the flip side, power it up. Let's take some measurement of the ambient noise, and after that, Noctua all the way, like Chris has said. So we'll see. Chris, maybe with the GPIO. What are you talking about with the GPIO? Also, yeah, something that I would need to ask probably Patrick about the GPIO. I would need your help probably with that, and I think I need to build myself some. Okay, long story short, I'm gonna bring it back, stop everything, bring it back. Oh, hold on, interesting. Andy here said, I have 2mm high LED strip from AliExpress. Mill a 2mm nut in the wood. 2mm. I think it's the width of a saw blade. So I can just probably put that on the bandsaw and probably rip a small 2mm. Because 2mm is not thick. Interesting, Andy. Send me a link actually on Facebook about that. I want to know. I want to know if it's something doable, the 2mm stuff, or like Patrick said. Sorry, Patrick. I saw Andy's comments first. No offense. So, this is where I want to go with the console eventually. And let me bring it back to where I was going before. Yesterday, if you guys saw my short video that I post on my channel, I was in a real, and I'm gonna go on quote, real TV studio / a real streaming studios with a really cool entity here. Apparently, and I learned that last week, Loto Quebec, which is the entity that managed the lottery here in Quebec, have a streaming studio where they stream out some stuff for gamer, and I was there yesterday to do sound for these guys. I was doing sound for their live stream because they had a problem before that, and they were not like happy with the quality of stream they were having, especially sound wise. So I jumped in because I did a couple stream with decent sound quality like this one. So I jumped in front of their console, or behind their console, I should say. They're using an XR18 for that live stream setup. So I went there, did my thing, and I start to look around at their setup. And they have some really awesome stuff from Blackmagic camera. Blackmagic camera with lights on top of them. So I was debating if I should find a way to have a light in front of my camera, because my struggle is always to figure out when I'm doing live stream with you guys if I'm live on this camera or if I'm live on this camera here on top. Because of that, I have to look at I need to have a screen next to me, one that I can watch the chat with, but one where I can also see what's going on to the internet, what's going on to YouTube. So if I could avoid that and only watch the stream, I will be less distracted by watching myself. It's really annoying to have me always, waving my hand when I'm pointing at the camera or stuff like that on the side. So I would, what are you talking about, Rob? So I want to have maybe the GPIO involved in that, so maybe Patrick can help me out with this if it's possible to have maybe just a little LED that I can hook up to my camera when I'm live on this camera. Maybe I can do something with that. Okay. Just program a wing button according to the camera's on, button on. Yeah, exactly what I need to do, but I would need to have like a MIDI switching. I would need to have double action, basically, on that, Patrick. So this is why I'm wondering if it's possible or not. If I can have, one push of a button, I can switch scene like that, and the LED would follow, or the GPIO would follow. I think it's a double action. I don't know if this is allowed or not in the software. Maybe we can take a look, but I don't think I can. Let's say that I want to go to this one. Already have that. If I'm looking at the GPIO, how? I'm a little lost there. I would need to figure out some stuff, and probably not on a live stream. It's not really a good idea to figure that out on a live stream, but yes, I want to go there eventually and maybe show you guys how you can do it yourself. I know some people use the Wing for live streaming a lot of show from church. Maybe it's an option that you guys want to have for yourself. Maybe I can do a video about that. How is it possible to use the GPIO in the back? Because not a lot of people using them. How is it possible to use the GPIO in the back to trigger some action or know what camera is live when you are doing live stream? Maybe from OBS you can send some MIDI signal by switching a scene. I think you can do that. Send some MIDI information, a MIDI trigger from OBS, or use a Stream Deck Send a MIDI to the console, activate the GPIO, and you can change camera when you're live. Maybe it's going to be helpful for some people. Maybe I want to do this for myself, and we'll see. I don't know. I actually have no idea what's going to happen with that. But okay, I had a really good question from Quincy. How do you compare the wing to maybe Digico or Yamaha? And I'm gonna have you guys help me or being pissed at me. I did a show the other day where I was doing monitor for a band. I was on an X32, but the guy at the front had a Digico S21, and I started to ask questions, and basically the feature, from what I understand, from the Aventus from Digico, it's the newer or the newest console from Digico. It's the latest stuff. The smaller one from Digico, is it the S21? Maybe you guys can help me. I'm not a huge Digico guy. I know how to operate them, but I'm not up to date on what's been released or not. So, from what I understand, the Aventus is the only console that feature-wise is close to the Wing, but it's ending up being double the price for a smaller version that can do 48 stereo channel, 48 mono channel. That's for Digico. When it comes to Yamaha, man, they are behind. I don't believe that Yamaha stuff has been feature-wise close to anything right now. I think Yamaha needs to release a new console. They have, the PM5, PM7, the Rivage stuff, which is really good but really, really expensive. But something that will replace the CL or the QL, because it's been discontinued right now, the CL and QL. The TF series that I'm using from time to time at a venue that I'm working, I have a TF1 to do small conference and stuff like that. It's been fine, but I end up running out of parameter or function really quickly. So the Wing, I would say feature-wise, it's way better than Yamaha. Digico, it's head-to-head, but for the price, the Wing is way cheaper. So see that the way that you want. And I'm gonna say, hold on. That's the joy of life. And I'm gonna say for the feature, the amount of feature that you get for the money, the Wing is a win. After that, it's up to you to decide if you prefer the sound of the Wing or you prefer the sound of the Digico. I would say if you go on the cheap side, it's probably head-to-head. If you're using a Wing with a DL251, it's probably the same as the second series of preamp from Digico, because Digico got a couple of series of preamps. So sound quality will depend on the preamp that you're using. On the back of the Wing, you only have 8 microphone preamp, and they are exactly what you get in the Yamaha Blue box. I did an A/B test myself with my DL251, so I would say it's really, really close depending on the setup that you're using. Because if you use the Wing with, cheap S series preamp versus the 251 from Midas, you're not going to get the same result. Obviously, if you're using the Digico, probably with the cheapest available preamp, it's probably going to go a little over the Behringer one, but not as close to the Midas. Maybe the higher end preamp from Digico with the cheaper console, it's going to sound better, but it's going to run you a little, or actually, I should say way more money for the same result. So it really depends on the budget. If budget is not an option, I would say, of course, the Wing is not the winner here. Because, if you can get the big Digico with the big preamp, of course, it's going to sound better. Or you have more chance to get a better result than what you have right now. If we're talking about Midas, the HD96, it's going to be better than the Wing too, and it's going to be better than the cheaper series from Digico. So it's a matter of budget. depending on how much you want to spend for what you want to get and the kind of feature that you want to get, I would say the Wing is probably the best, cheapest option that you can get, in the sense of a Wing, a DL251 preamp wise, and a couple of DP48 for your band to run their own in-ear mixes. It's like, you know, Avium kit, but you have 48 available input on those units, and you can create your in-ear mix with that. Price-wise, it's going to be probably cheaper than the Digico. Like even the console itself, the Surface itself with one stage box, let's say 48 input. If you build a system on both design, you know, a small Digico console with the preamp, and the other side you have the Wing, you can probably get the bigger preamp, the Midas Blue stuff, and some DP48 for the same price as just a console with Digico. Hold on. So it's really a matter of, okay, I'm still sick, guys, and I'm gonna prove it, or I should not prove it to you, but give me a second here. That's part of being live. Hold on here. Let me see what's happening in the chat. You guys, sorry, I've been really away from the chat today. I hope if you have a question, make sure to post it back in the chat if I didn't see it. A lot of stuff is happening and I'm talking a lot. Okay, latest one. Will Midas release more Stage Connect device with their Preamp Pro? Stage Connect device do not have preamp. Stage Connect device are only XLR line input. They are made to receive a preamp. Let's say that you are in a studio and you want to integrate stuff that you already have. Microphone preamp, compressor, insert in and out. If you want to have more physical I/O, but you don't need preamp, the Stage Connect is the way to go. I'm building, or I'm helping somebody designing a studio in LA. This is where I flew back in December to help my friend Dorian to build the Dreamweaver studio. His father's studio, you probably know his father, Gary Wright, did the song Dreamweaver. So he's basically put the studio back to life. I have the wrong word here, sorry. He's putting the studio back to life, and he choose the Wing, has his control surface for the studio. So because he wants to integrate all his outboard gear that his father got over the years, we're talking about Nave 1066 preamp. We're talking about Chandler LD1, mic pre's. He's got some really cool compressor, 1176, of course, a real one, Rev F. He's got some other really cool stuff in the studio. But we're missing out on in and out for him to insert stuff on his recorded setup in Cubase. Basically, he's running Cubase. The way I help him design the setup with the Wing is he's got the first 24 channel of the Wing as insert channel inside Cubase. So whatever he's doing on the channel strip itself, let's say the first 24, if that's his kick microphone, I take the signal from the preamp, it's been sent into Cubase, recorded, and after that when he's playing back, the signal's coming here through all these effects, and it's been sent back into Cubase, and that way you can have 24 channel of in and out with the console itself. He's using 24 USB insert channel. The way I built the console for him is he's got 24 channel to work with to EQ and stuff. After that, he's got these real outboard gear that he wants to integrate into that process too. So we insert a M300 Lexicon reverb. He's got the real unit, really cool unit that you probably want to have around. So he's using that. He's using the DBX. He's got a 162A, 165A. This is the 165 is like the old VU, but with attack, release, and all that, all the parameters. He wants to use that. So for him to use that in a non-destructive way, what we did is we're taking stuff from the console, microphone preamp, in the console or line in the console. We record that to Cubase. It's been recorded to Cubase, and after that we send it back out or digitally out over the USB interface of the console, apply all the processing that you want, and sending back that signal into Cubase. That way he can play around with stuff, save some file on the console if he wants to, have a song, a dry song that is non-destructive, processing in Cubase. We recall the session on the console, and every move that he did is going to be there, and he can also do some automation from there. I have another layer on the DAW mode where we flip this console into DAW mode, and you can apply some automation there from the fader levels. Where I was going with this is the SC48 could be added to a setup like this to have more insert, or in another example, if you are using wireless microphone that are line level output stuff, you can use the Stage Connect for that. If you are using in-ear monitor and you have a in-ear rack, let's say the perfect example, you have a in-ear rack with 4 stereo in-ear, and you have let's say 4 wireless mic on your gig. You have 4 singer corporate band with 4 singer or 3 singer and a backup, maybe something that you will see all the time. 3 singers in a corporate band. I've done that many times. You can take one single XLR, plug that into your console, plug that into your rack, and you can feed with one XLR inside a rack, 4 wireless mic or up to 8 line input. Could be playback, could be a lot of stuff, and you can also send 8 output to your in-ear. This is line level stuff. This is unit that are made to operate with line level stuff. So of course not AS50, Stage Connect will be a great option for that. Preamp wise over Stage Connect, I don't think the signal, and I could be wrong here, I don't think the signal have the possibility to send information for preamp change. Maybe somebody in the chat can help me with this, but I think you can only receive and send signal from the Stage Connect protocol. I don't think you can send status information for changing the gain on something. I don't think the signal can be sent out if you were to turn a knob. I don't think the Stage Connect infrastructure have the ability to understand preamp change, basically, or information change that can control preamp on the other hand. So Stage Connect preamp control, no idea. I don't think so, Rob. I think it's limited. I heard that somewhere, and I don't know if it's a relatable source, but I think it do not have the capability of sending out signal or data information in there. Okay, Patrick said there's no command for that, at least from the time being. So I don't know if it has the possibility to do so, but I don't think business-wise, Behringer will go that way, because you already have AS50. I had a question here from Benny. Says, is AS50 with the wing stable enough for live stuff in different environment, or should I go Dente solution for the same control, third-party exam? Yamaha. We had a couple message about that earlier, but I would say just be careful. If you're doing Dente with the wing, you will not have preamp control. You cannot control the preamp from the wing. You would need a laptop if you want to have Dente stuff. You would need a laptop, connect to it, and use, I think it's called Dente Control, to control the preamp on stuff. I know it can be done, but I never did it myself because I tried to avoid the setup. But I know it can. You can control Dente preamp level from a computer. You would need to go that route if you want to use the wing with something else that is running Dente, or you would need to have, let's say that you want to have a wing in front of house in a monitor console that is using the Yamaha stuff. You can take a signal from the Yamaha console at 48K, send that into your wing, and it will work. You will get the signal. You will have trim option on every single channel. Like, you know, you have your trim here. It will be your only option. You won't have any gain control. But if you want to have a totally autonomous setup with just a wing and let's say real preamp, you would need to get gain control from somewhere else. The wing will not give you the control over the gain for other stage box. The only, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the only thing that you can control preamp wise with the wing would be AAS50 or over AAS50. Okay, I'm gonna slow it down a little bit. I'm feeling rushed today. Guys, please, if you are here, there's 30 people here in the chat. Give this video a like, please. I want to see those likes coming up. I want to see what's going on with you guys writing messages. I'm gonna take some time and read the chat here for a second, but I want you guys to please like this video. If you are not yet subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. If you want to know more about the wing, feel free to drop a comment, not in the chat, drop a comment down the video so I can take a look at it, because I'll be honest, I don't read the chat after the live stream. Maybe this one I will, because there's a lot of stuff happening that I did not answer, like the question from David. Can it be controlled by remote control, Mac or PC right now? The wing? No. That was not his question. You see, this is why I should read the chat a little more. Okay. Can I talk about that? Yes. Control software, offline editor is coming soon. I'm gonna drop that bomb here. Offline editor is coming soon. It's been on the way. Hold on. What's going on here with Karstein? Anyone know about AVB or AS AVB to AS50 Dente converter? Evan and I have the mix use a PreSonus R32R as a stage box / in-ear mixer. There's a PreSonus AVB to Dente converter, but is only has 16 channel of D24. I think you would need to go analog split here. That will be your best option with a AS50 stage box of your choice. A lot of option there, so I think it will be your option. Your best bet will be that. What else? MFM says I find turning up the output of the Sennheiser G4 wireless all the way to get a decent level from stage kind of input. Are those line level or mic level? Wireless used to be, or most Shure wireless have the option to be line or mic level. If you are using it in a line mode, it will be fine. If your wireless is only mic level, that can cause a problem. Rob said there are G4 or at mic level, but nowhere close to line level. Maybe that's the problem. They're probably not line level. They're probably mic level, which will be a really bummer for you. But I want to know the AVB stuff. What's the AVB stuff? You guys can teach me out. What's the AVB stuff? Is it the protocol from PreSonus? Are they using a new protocol that I'm not aware of, that I never heard of before? Because honestly, I've never really used PreSonus. I used to have the Dubin with the Studio Live 24. I think it's the name of the console. You know, the one with the LED that is not fun to work with, and especially confusing if you are a console that is designed for beginner, or that is an entry-level console that is really complex and visually confusing, is not a good option. Just my 2 cents. Zach, any news on what kind of feature are coming in the next Big Wing update? Which one are you talking about? Because there's more than one update coming. All I'm gonna say for now. But Zach, don't worry. There's some stuff coming your way. There's some really cool stuff coming your way. So take some time, my friend. I know I said it's not fully cooked yet. I know I said that a long time ago, but it's just not ready. Wait for it to be ready, guys. You don't want to have buggy software. Let the pros, let people like the awesome Patrick Gilles Maillot, who is here in the chat. Let him do his weird test that I don't really understand how we can make the console bug that way, but let this guy find out all the bug for you, and when it's going to be fully ready, fully cooked, the software will get released. But let the pros, let the beta tester do their job and find out bug before you happen to find bug on your gigs. Zach, any idea what's taking them so long to get this one out? It seems like they released the last for a while, but then slow it down and never caught up really. What really happened is the people are just like burnout, I believe. People are really like, well, I don't want to say burnout because it's a negative way to say it. What I really want to say is people are working really hard, and there's a lot of product that need to be worked on over at Music Tribe. They needed to redesign all their product from scratch when the pandemic hit, with a chip maker not in the picture anymore and people working from home. It's probably piled up a lot of work now. I know they have problems shipping. I would say cut them a little break. Sorry, guys. But what's really taking so long is there's a lot of stuff coming in the new one. And when you're changing software on a device, when you're doing software revision, your code can affect, or change in the code can affect a lot of stuff. A lot of feature that can be bug or stuff. And when you have big update like the ones that are coming, it's, it can create a lot of bug and require a lot of testing. And for the kind of stuff that is coming, you don't want to have buggy, software recall or other, change that do not recall well or create the console to bug, like I had happening this week. Not with the Wing, but I had a buggy M32 2 days ago. I was working on a show on Saturday, and the M32, I was recalling a file from a offline editor, and I was causing the effect rack to crash every time. When I was opening up the effect rack, like, imagine we're on an M32, but all my 8 effects were there, and everything was clipping out red on input and output, and I had no signal coming out of the main because I had some insert there. And you don't want that to happen. You don't want that to happen on a show. So For me, it happened. I had to physically reset every single preamp, and once I restarted all the 8, not preamp, all the effect, once I restarted all the 8 effect, it suddenly came back to life. But it's a bug. The console was buggy, so you don't want to have buggy firmware. Wait for it to be fully cooked. This is why I keep repeating that. I know I said it a lot, but wait for it to be fully cooked. Benny, do you know if there was some hardware change since the Wing was released? Officially, yes, in the sense of touchscreen. I know the new one are coming with fully tested and controlled touchscreen. We want to avoid bad touchscreen like it happened before. I know one of the few batches of console, not the first one, the second one I believe had some really, I don't want to say really defective. Some of them on the second batch were leaving the factory with defective touchscreen, and that has been fixed. I know this is the only physical change that I'm aware of. I don't know if there's a V2 or a V3 or revision of the console like we had with the X32. You know, the first X32 had, hard plastic button. It was not fun. They changed that to a rubbery one like we have on the Wing. And something else also happened. I don't remember. But I know there's 3 revision of the X32. After that, I would not know, because I don't, as much as some people don't believe me, I only see my console every week. I don't sell or buy out new console every week. I just see mine, and mine has been it's been doing fine. Seriously, my first revision, low serial number, collector edition console has been doing fine. My touchscreen is fine. I have no problem with that. Ought to say that I've never dropped anything on my touchscreen also, so maybe this is something that helped me out. Maybe some people, because let's face it, some people complain about the touchscreen being broken, and I'm gonna say most of the time it's probably because they dropped something on it and they don't want to admit it. My 2 cents. If you feel it's a problem for you to drop stuff on your screen, maybe a Wing is not an option for you. Or you want to try to pre-order already a replacement touchscreen if you're going to drop your 58 on it. Zach, I know you had a touchscreen issue with yours, but let me ask you, and please be honest about it. I'm not going to report you to whatever Music Tribe dealer that you're dealing with. Actually, I would not even know which one you're dealing it. But Zach, did you by any chance accidentally drop something on your screen? The answer could be really no, but I know some people somewhere definitely had, a 58 dropped on their console and they broke the touchscreen, and they tried to put it under warranty or complaining that it was not resistant enough. So, okay, no, it didn't happen for you. Okay, could be defective. It could. It's, it's the only thing on the console that if it's buggy just a little bit, people will see it right away and complain about it right away. We had one that just started slowly having ghosting issue. Okay, and then we got one from Sweetwater, pulled it out of the box and immediately tested it, and it has touchscreen issue. Okay, so that one, okay, maybe somebody at Sweetwater didn't check it as it should have been checked, because I believe they need to check the console before they leave, or it was what I thought they should do. I thought they were forced to check them out before sending out the console, but apparently not. So it's a good thing that you catch that one quickly. If you just get it out of the box and you show a bad touchscreen, it's probably easy for you to just send it back out. But I get it's annoying. Trust me, I get it why it's annoying. How come you think it's something it's related to something being dropped on the screen. The reason why I think it's related to some people dropping stuff on the screen is a touchscreen like this one, is still a fragile thing, in the sense of, if you, like any other screen, like any phone screen or something, if you hit it really hard, you're gonna cause a break in the touch system, you know, because it's, especially the wing stuff, you don't need to press really hard, you just need to touch it and it is changing right away. It's not like the old M7CL touchscreen. I don't know how many of you guys work with these, but you had to hammer down your finger in that screen for it to do something, and sometimes you wanted to touch something and you were like banging on it and nothing was happening, because those touchscreens were really resistant. But man, you need to get hard on these. So I prefer to have a maybe easier to break touchscreen, but I just take care of it and I can just like slowly put my finger on it. I don't need to hammer down my finger into the screen. I think it's a better option, but yeah, you just have to be careful with it. And I'm sure some people are not. I mean, some people, I'm pretty sure, they just hammer down on that screen and eventually break it and complain about it. So yeah, you don't need to push on it. You just literally need to touch. Like, seriously, I'm like, just as soon as my skin touches the screen, it's there. You don't need to hammer it down on this thing. You just like touch it. To each his own, I guess. I also saw, people are not respectful of the gear. I saw some people literally on X32 with the plastic knob push so hard on the tap button that they broke the PC board around the knob, because it was a flat bottom knob, and if you were pushing too hard on it too often, you would break the contact on the PC board because you were just hammering down on it. So yeah, some people do not respect the gear. It's a computer. Think about it. It's a computer. It's like a tablet. It's like it's a computer. Well, it's a really fancy computer with a dedicated software that looks like this. You power it up and this software come up. It's like if you were using Windows, but it's Wing software, and that's it. So just be careful. Take care of your wing. Dust them from time to time, like I should do myself. Seriously. Okay. Let me get back in the chat. Let me see what's going on here with you guys. What's the possibility that be that they redesign the hardware because of the chip that has issue? We have option firmware update now. 96K, Chris, forget that. That's not gonna happen. For what's the application for the Stage Connect? Stage Connect stuff, I believe this is what we're talking about. It's just for signal transportation, kinda, yes. It's made to be used with line stuff, like the P16, like wireless, like press split, like we said. Mini device on stage, no, they are line level. Guitar processor are line level. Bass amplifier have been line level out for years. Keyboards, most of them now have line level. Oh yeah, you're talking about this, Poncho? Yes, I'm fine. I'll get back to this. But yeah, basically a lot of stuff is line level. Computer are line level. There's a lot of stuff that use line level. You don't need a microphone preamp on that. Poncho, what happened with my head? I was violently attacked by a sharp razor doing my hair, and this is why I'm wearing these battle scars. That will go away in a few days, don't worry about me. But yeah, basically I cut myself really, really bad in the shower yesterday. That's the problem of having really short hair. You need to keep them razor sharp all the time, and apparently my head lose this fight against a triple blade sharp razor. I'll have to live with this one for a while. Thank you for helping out, Chris. Seriously, to all my members, to everybody who's a regular here in the chat, and not the violent girl. No, wild girl, do not attack me. Pancho. Actually, yes, it happens from time to time, but this is not where they leave scars, and I cannot show that on YouTube. You got the wrong something.com website for that. I will invite you to go over there for more girl attacking you action. That's gonna cost me probably some monetization on this video, so please make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and join me as a member of the channel. I have some beautiful member, like I was saying, like Chris. I also have some regular that I need to thank for being here, like Rob, like Patrick. Make sure to go check out Patrick Gilmayo's website. He's got some really cool software about the wing. Go check his website, x32ram.com, x32ram.com. He's got some stuff for the X32. He's got some stuff that integrate the wing and Reaper with the X32 and Reaper too. And he's got now he's working on some wing stuff as he's really involved with the console. So please go check out Patrick's website. Robert, okay, you find me. I did a post this week from a video that I did with my friend from the band Hook. We were filming a live show, or they were filming during a live show where I was there. Rob find me a couple of times. You need to tell me how many times you found me, Rob, on that one. And actually, let me know if you like that. Maybe I can do some more stuff with my friend from the band Hook. Having a really good time going, do some rock and roll with these guys out in bars and stuff like that. We're just doing this for fun. We're doing this for fun. I'm having fun with these guys, and 4 times, that's the right answer, Rob. I'm there 4 times. You can see me 4 times in that video. Patrick's software is going to be even cooler soon. Yes, because Rob is exporting stuff for Mac. Right now, Patrick's stuff are more for Windows PC. I believe there's some Linux stuff also in there, but Rob is turning out a lot of software available for us for Mac. So please go check out Patrick's stuff and say thanks to Rob if you download it for a Mac computer yourself. Let's hear out some Mac user out there. I know it's really popular in the music industry. People running on Mac OS. You know why? Because it's just working. Okay, it's been an hour. What's going on here, guys? You were really vocal a few minutes ago. I could not keep up with the chat, and now things are slowly starting to come down. And I don't want that. I want you to keep the chat running up, and I want you guys to feed me up with some question for the wing. I probably missed one of your question in the chat before, so please go in the chat right there. Go in the chat right there and tell me or ask me your question about the wing, because otherwise I would need to just stand like this, and that would be really awkward for a few minutes. Okay, cool update here from Ivan. Also, Ivan, a regular here. Thank you very much for being here, my friend. Finally, the DL16 came after 1 year of back order. So apparently, DL16 are back. Really cool. Really awesome. You guys can have some stage bucks. I know it's something that's really overlooked. Good to know. Zach, do you know if any group people who are looking Okay, hold on. Let me read that correctly, Zach. Do you know of any groups / people who like to look at people snapshot and evaluate how they balance set things? I do offer some consultation on how to help you get your mix sound better, to help you get more of what you want on the wing. I do offer that. But I can look at your file, Zach, if you need some help with that, or if you want to have some of mine. I don't mind sharing my file at all. The thing is, I can share you my file as much as I want for any band that I've ever mixed. Because first, you're probably never going to mix that band, and you probably never heard or will never hear how the source, how the drum was sounding that day, how the guitar amp was sounding that day, how an acoustic guitar was sounding that day. So this is why I take preset, take your preset with a grain of salt and see it more as a approximation of what usually people are doing to an instrument more than a dead on, Let's take a look just for fun at my bass drum. This is my bass drum starting point. This should be at 100%. This makes absolutely no sense or total sense depending on the bass drum that you're having, the microphone that you're having, and the way it's been tuned and played. There's some key stuff here that you can learn. Gate on a bass drum usually makes sense. Usually you want to gate your bass drum because you don't want your low end to do like my boom microphone is doing. You don't want your low end to sound like this. You don't want your going. You just want your kick to be tight. So putting a gate will help you out with that. Boosting a kick at one of his fundamental frequencies, meaning when you have a bass drum hitting, usually looking at the RTA or hearing it, you will hear some sound that is natural. Basically, what are the natural frequencies in a bass drum? And you want to put some emphasis on that and get rid of stuff that you like less. Because of the bass drum that I use and the microphone that I've used, I end up having a little bit too much of around 2K-ish attack on that bass drum, so I turn it down. Usually I don't do that. It's basically just with my D71C from Bayer. My microphone, my personal one, I think has a lot of 2K, so I turn it down. And depending on the mic, if I'm using a Beta 91, if I were to use a Beta 91, I'm gonna go something more like this. Usually I want to try to get the attack out of that mic, and I want to get some low end and boost that 6-9 dB depending on how much or how little subs I have that day. So it always depends on the source of what you have, of the band that you're listening to. There's some key feature, like boosting in the bottom in the bass drum is something really common, anywhere between 40 to 60 hertz. Take the fundamental of that kick, look at the RTA if you cannot hear it, and just boost that until you're happy. You probably want to get rid of some stuff around 160, around 200 to, clear it up, because it's a lot of muddy stuff. It's a lot of stuff that you don't really want to have. So just listen and try to imagine in your head what is the best bass drum sound that you ever heard, and take the EQ and try to make it. Or talk to the band and ask them what's the best drum sound for them. What's the best kick drum sound? Do they like Metallica? Do they want to have like huge Black Album bass drum sound? Are they Pantera fan? Are they metal Slipknot sound band? The Slipknot sound bass drum is just 100% attack. There's almost no low end in there, because with the band is really tuned down low. For everybody who don't know the band, they use really low tuned bass and guitar. So you want to clear up, or the way that the sound of the band was designed is they clear up a lot of low end in the bass drum, and they left that space for the bass and the guitar. So the bass drum is just hitting around 4K in your head, that tack, 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 tack sound. So It depends on the band. Ask the band. This has been my key thing. This is why people are calling me back, because I ask the band what do they like, and I start usually with flat EQs. Like this is a really bad example, but let's say I want to start on a guitar. The first thing that I would do on a guitar is probably do a low cut and probably turn that down to something like 80, 87. And I would start to listen to that guitar before doing anything else. That's the way I start my sound check. A guitar, just a low cut, and we'll see. Most of the time, if I have a band on in-ears, I'm gonna ask the guitar player to move the mic around until he's happy with this tone. He's worked really hard on his band to work out this tone, so I'm gonna say, hey, move the mic around a little bit until maybe you're gonna find the tone that you want, and most of the time, they end up really happy. I give them the 57, not the 58, 57, or the 160 from Bayer that I'm using probably most of the time, and I just like help them to angle it just a little bit, and they go like, oh, I love it that way. So I let the sound be that way. I do not, as a sound engineer, try to impose a sound on the band. I let the band be the band, and I mix them how I believe how the level should be. I let the band decide on the tone of the band. And I don't know why, knock on wood, but I've been making a living. I bought a house working with people that liked my approach, pay me out a good amount of money, and made out a living, and bought a house, bought a car, bought a console, but with that money. So I guess I'm not doing something that bad with that approach. Up to you guys. Okay. Question is going to disappear in the chat, so I'm gonna move out this way. So AOA Multimedia Studio, is there a way that you can split the output on a DL32 for two-wing mixer, one for FOH and one from Sage? Yes, I did that actually Saturday, where I was doing it with two M32. Apparently on the new stage box, you just plug one into A, one into B, and it's going to work. It's going to be a split. Preamp will be controlled by AS50A, by the way, but this is how I did it. So it's just a matter of plugging two cable in the back of your DL32, or the other way would be to use port A of the console and port B of the console, and you take the stuff from preamp A, you do the gain at monitor, and you send another line, and in your patch basically you send out on the output, let's say that you want to have B, you can take your preamp from A and send them into AS50B here. You just assign everything that you want to send front of house, and from the front of house, from line your output B, you can send whatever you want at front of house. That will work. Good luck with that. Jerdo, level via user channel do not match after channel EQ and Cubase. Any fix? What are you talking about? Are you talking about the fact that if you do your level, EQ it out, and you get less or more in Cubase? I believe that will be normal, because playing around with EQ, you change the amount of energy. As an example, a bass drum, like I have here, sorry. If I were to increase the low end by 10 dB, overloading Cubase, not in channel, it's probably because your processing is overloading the channel at the output. Are you using a compressor? Are you boosting out a lot of stuff? You're probably increasing the volume of that to a point where you're clipping. If it's just clipping everywhere, no. Are you sure it's not a USB sync problem? Because I saw that before. Because it should not EQ only via user channel. It should not increase, or it should not cause any problem. It should. I would need to see your setup for that, because I don't think it should do that. It should not do that. If you EQ out some stuff or push in or out on some stuff, yes, it can affect a couple dB of, VU meter, but it should not clip inside Cubase. It should be the same level in and out. If you punch in and out your EQ, does it go away? That will be my question. And if you are using the if you are using the user channel, or the user signal, I should say, if you are doing it post fader, you can adjust probably that with the fader itself. So if the EQ is causing it to clip, you're probably doing something in the EQ that increased the volume too much. That will be my option. Hold on, I'm seeing. What's my favorite feature of the wing? From somebody who I didn't know, or I didn't see his name, I'm sorry. Favorite feature of the wing? The wing. The amount of flexibility that you have on the console, the fact that you can just rearrange each channel. If you want to have your gate, your compressor, your EQ first, then your insert. If you want to have an insert tap point first, then your EQ, then your gate, then your compression. You can do whatever you want with that console. That's the thing. The flexibility of the console is my favorite feature. Like Andy said, yes. Okay, it's Benny. Yeah. Yes, Benny. The wing. My favorite feature of the wing is the wing. Flexibility is key here. Robin says, Jazz, you don't want a clicky kick, but more sustained. There you go. Yeah, on Jazz, yeah. Jazz, side note here. Do not compress, do not gate. Let the musician do their thing. You probably just want to roll off everything and you want to let the band do whatever they want to do. Jazz, I learned that the hard way, or actually the really pleasant way. Because one of the first time of my life that I mixed on a Midas H3000, a Heritage 3000, I was doing a band on a huge stage line. Vertec PA on the side, I'm talking about 15 years ago. Vertec PA, the 15-inch, 4 per side, small kit. And I was doing jazz band in the afternoon. And this is where I learned gain staging is the key. And this is where I learned that a really good band's gonna sound really good no matter what you do. The show started, I just set the gain, raise the fader, set the gain, raise the fader, and I'm sorry, it's a H3000, so I would say raise the gain, set the fader, and I took a walk from my bass drum all the way to my vocal that were literally 8 feet away. Just set up everything, no compression, just low cut everywhere on a festival, starting a day slowly with a jazz band, setting up my console, and it was amazing. Jazz band, you don't want to do anything. No gate, no compression. Maybe on the vocal, just a little bit. And add reverb to that, and you're in. Jazz musician, the difference between rock and jazz musician is jazz musician are really good at dealing with their dynamics. They listen to the dynamics that they produce, and they try to manage their dynamic. And this is basically what a sound guy is. Managing the dynamic of the band until it sounds the way it should. I hope that can open up a door in your mind for your next mixing session, live or in the studio. Zach, we're not in a worship environment. It's not a loud rock concert. Okay, we just picked up a electronic drum set, great drum, but you have it coming via dual side by side, and okay. You think using mic on an acoustic guitar is better than pickup? I've been using the actually no, you got a really good preamp there, Zach. I would use the pickup itself. It depends on the guitar. A friend of mine got a Gibson J45 that sound amazing plugged in. I don't know why. I never EQ his guitar. I just roll it off at around like 60 hertz, and that's it. That guitar sound awesome. The guy also played really, really well, but that acoustic guitar, especially this one, it sound awesome. It should not. That guitar has been broken. It was destroyed by an airline at some point. Both sides of the guitar are like they have cracks in them. It was fixed. It was repaired, but it should not sound that good. And that guitar, that J45, is just awesome. Plug it in. I believe it's an LR bag pickup that he's using on that guitar. Is just, it sounds as good as the mic guitar. I tried to mic it at some point using really good mic. I don't have my Bayer MC840, but I used to mic that guitar with that, and I end up with a blend for studio recording, but live I just plug it in, and that guitar sound awesome everywhere. That guitar just sound good. So no, well, in a studio context, maybe a mic, but live, a pickup is just fine. A pickup with a good preamp is just fine. It's overload in Cubase on the channel. Okay, sorry, I'm just trying to keep on and go back. Maybe a little tips on acoustic guitar. Do I have an acoustic guitar here? I think I do, and I think I did exactly what I did. Try to cut down sometimes around. Can you guys see this on the next to my face here on the screen? I tried to cut down on. I tried to roll off or low cut, high pass. I don't remember. My brain doesn't want to start today. I'm running out of coffee. And I don't speak English either, so as usual, I'll try to explain that the best I can. High cut, this is what I want to say, high cut. I usually cut the guitar around 10K, depending on the guitar. I just listen to it and adjust the taste, just to get rid of the sizzling sound of a piezo pickup. You don't want to boost the IN on a acoustic guitar, you probably, especially if the person's playing with a pick, or a plectrum, depending on what part of the world you are. You want to cut down just a little bit on the higher end frequencies of that guitar, just to, get a more natural sound out of it. Andy, you're right. Be careful if you're using two sources at the same time. Two microphones for the same source. Could be a DI and or a microphone and a DI for a guitar. You can have some phasing issue. Just make sure that you either flip the phase on your channel or you delay slightly one channel or another, just to make sure that you are really in time with what you're doing. You want your instrument to be as in phase as possible. Let me see what's going on here. Talking about the Heritage, have you had the opportunity to mix on the Heritage 96? Midas seems to keep it low key. No, I don't think Midas try to keep it low key. I just think people are intimidated by it. Personal opinion. But I saw one when it was in the development phase. I went to the AVL headquarters, and they had one of the first prototype console there. I had the chance to see it. I didn't mix on it. I was with the product manager there, and he showed me a mix that he did, but it was on a unreleased version of the software. It was 0 point something, so it was not ready to be public. So this is why I never spoke about it really. But from what I've seen from the console, the amount of flexibility that you got there, if you guys are intimidated by the wing, the HD96 could be next level. You can go as deep as you want into that console. Sound really good, like any other Midas. Midas have been sounding, I believe, the best so far. So, yeah. Basically, this is my experience that I have with the HD96. I see it. I heard a mix on it, sounded really good, but Yeah, it's a little bit intimidating. Let's see. That's the thing with the 96. Yeah, this is why people, try to stand away from it. The other day I was talking with the Digico rep, and he said when the Midas 96 was first released, he went to the booth and tried to get it working, and with the firmware that they had at the time, I don't know about now, but with firmware 1.1, I would say, he had a hard time just to get it working. So that's his opinion. I'm really familiar with the Pro Series, Pro 2, Pro 1. I believe Pro 6 and X is all the same thing. It's just the same software, just different footprint, console size. I probably can get away with it. Like, if you give me 15 minutes with somebody that knows it, I could probably get a show done. But yeah, I mean, I'm such a fan. It's not fair. I'm biased. I'm such a fan of the Midas preamp. I will make it. I will make it happen. Even nowadays, a lot of people complain about the Pro 2 or Pro 1 being old. I see a lot of people selling out console right now. Pro 1, Pro 2, Pro 3, Pro 6, 9. I would get one of these console any day over a lot of stuff on the market right now. The Pro Series console from Midas sounds awesome. Up to the point where I could debate if I wanted to use a Pro 2, I'm going to go with the same amount of channel, Pro 2 or a wing on show. If I were to choose, depending on what I'm doing, if I'm doing front of house and I don't have to deal with any in-ear mixes, I will probably take the Pro 2 at front of house. If I were to deal with in-ear monitor, because this is apparently what I do the most nowadays, in-ear monitor. If I were to do in-ear monitor, I would prefer to have my stereo input being auto rather than auto stereo, and I would take the wing. But it's a really close call, depending on the situation and the feature that I want to have. The wing has more feature, but I believe the Pro 2 is sounding a little better. Even if we're using the L251 stage box with split preamp, Midas blue box preamp, I think I will choose the Pro 2 for front of house and let's say the wing for monitor. That will be my call. Where was I? You guys are really going in the chat. Is there a way to change the peak time in the wing before resetting the VO meter? I want to hold the peak on the VO bit. Oh, it's a really good one, Fred. It's a really good one. I don't know. Is it in Tool? RTA decay. Hold on. Let me see. I'm having a hard time finding this one. Lights. Remote DW. No, that's not it. That's not it. Anybody got a cue for me here? I'm having a hard time finding that one. I'm really sorry. Really sorry, Fred. Oh, Rob says no. So, yeah, I'm not crazy. With the RTA, you can adjust the downtime, but not with the VU meter, Fred. I'm sorry. Rob said I played with the HD96 a couple days ago. Felt a bit lost. Okay, possible, but I'm sure once you know it, you don't want to get. It's like the Pro 2. Back in the day, people were complaining about Pro 2. or Pro Series console. I keep saying Pro 2, but the Pro Series console. And I used to run a Pro 2 for monitor. And seriously, once I learned the console inside out, I love it. I don't want to change anything about it. I just love that console. So it's a matter of just knowing it, I think. Do you use or add 31 band EQ? It's not 30. I know you said 30, but it's 31 band EQ. On the stereo output when mixing live, or do you use the standard EQ and output? I usually stick with the usual 6-band EQ or 8-band EQ on the wing. If I need to EQ my PA more than that nowadays, I'm not talking about 20 years ago when you had to EQ the GBL out of speaker box. I'm talking about nowadays with systems that are pretty much calibrated from the factory and are flat, other than if you are forced to use homemade design. Nowadays, sound systems that come out are pretty much flat or really good sounding or really close to be flat response as possible. The only thing that you really need to EQ is the room. So if I cannot get away with 8 full parametric, because now you can tell me that, hey, you know, it's a shelving here, it's a shelving here. You can change that to be full parametric here. You can have 6 or 8 PEQ. If you need more than 8 PEQ to EQ your PA, there's something wrong. There's something wrong somewhere. Either you are in a really, really bad room, or your PA is not from the factory tuned correctly. Sorry about that, guys. Benny, is there a way to do GEQ on fader flip? I don't think so. You can have, if you have an effect, you can have it on. Do I have it? I think I have one here. Hold on. Let me assign that to a bus just for fun. This one, you can have your EQ and you can have access to it on the screen, so it's better than having on fader flip. You can just have it in front of you all the time and adjust all the frequencies the way that you want them. Usually this is exactly how you not EQ monitor or sound system with an EQ, but you can have access to all the band in front of you all the time. So I would not really use EQ on fader for this, personal opinion. When you can have access to this and you can create a custom control on the console if you really want to have quick access to that, create a pop-up page that can boost your EQ up there. What else? How do you like to EQ keys? We just got the Yamaha CP88. I don't EQ keyboard. Do I have a keyboard here? Yes. Here's my keyboard EQ. Usually keyboard. If the players know what he's doing, it's not $100 keyboard, I just let it be. Usually keyboard sounds really fine the way they are. The presets from the company now sound awesome. The players spend a lot of time working on their tone. I let the player express themselves as much as possible. Sometimes I will EQ just a little bit. I will put like a tiny bit of compression on stuff like 1176, really transparent compression, just a little bit. Like if the keyboard player goes too hard, I like to hold it back a little bit. But other than that, nope, nothing. I just let the keyboard be what the keyboard player set up. That's my approach. Working for me. Up to you to decide if you want to have that approach or not. What else? With a wing and a Pro 2, why do you set up the clock to 48? No, you cannot. You need to use either a analog split or use stage box like the DL231. I use to have a tour where at front of house it was an M32, and monitor I was using a Pro 2, who were using the DL231 stage box, two of them to get 48 channel at monitor, and at front of house I think we had 27 channel only going out up there, because on stage we had, talkback and other microphone, crowd mic, stuff that you don't want to have in front of house. So we were filling it up to close with my personal talkback, the musical director talkback, a band talkback on each side of the stage, so we could talk to each other. We would go a little over 30, and at front of house it was only 27, but we were using a DL231 as a split snake, or yeah, it's just basically a split snake. So DL231 for the win. What else did I miss? Brian says, "What do you do on drum bus in the wing?" I don't do drum bus. Usually what I do is a drum DCA, and my personal approach is having the source sound good. So I have my bass drum sounding the way that I want it to sound. Maybe this is not a really good example right now, but I usually EQ my bass drum to sound good. I compress it, or actually I need to recall that because it's totally all over the place. Usually I have my, hold on. Usually I have my gate, my EQ, compression, and an insert, and whatever tap point should be after compression. Usually I set up my bass drum to sound good, period. And usually I'm using a 160 just for fun. On my snare, pretty much the same idea. Now there's a drummer, but usually don't look at that session too close. But I set up my channel strip to sound good in the PA, in in-ear monitor, and this is what I send to every musician or at front of house, because using drum bus has never been a really useful thing for me, because depending on the venue I had more kick, less snare, more toms, and I don't just mix with a drum bus. Adding compression, adding mush to that is not something that I'm usually looking for when I'm doing live show. I try to look at definition over sparkle, in the sense of I don't try to degrade the channel too much. I want really clean drums, fat, clean drums, no distortion, no nothing. So doing bus compression, never a thing for me. Over compressing the drum, not a thing that I do a lot, because I'm doing a lot of live sound for PA. I can have the bass drum crushing people at 60 Hz really loudly if I want to. So it's a matter of not compressing too much at the source and just blending that. And once my drum mix is done, my drum blend is done, I just mix the whole night with a DCA most of the time. And most of the time I just don't touch the drum, other than when I have a tom feel, or at the end of a song I raise the drum DCA because I know the drummer is gonna finish on the floor and really hammering down. I want that floor to be pushing people a little bit, so I'm gonna move as soon as as he's done with the hi-hat and the hi-hat, the snare, and all the cymbals. I just crank that DCA up while the drummer is running on the tom and ending up with that big floor tom. I just push it with the DCA, but no bus compression on that, or no drum bus at all, just a plain DCA. What else? Which compressor, etc. Which compressor did I use? Let me flip that again. Oops, I did something wrong. There we go. On bass drum, it's usually a 160 for the drum, for the kick. Snare is either a 160 or a no stressor for my snare if I have the option. I add nothing at all. On the toms, it's either 160 or, again, no stressor. No stressor here will be the option. On the floor tom, or almost no compression at all. On the floor tom, I like it to be really dynamic. Overhead, no compression at all. Bass guitar. This is where I usually kick in the 1176. I want to have that fat, juicy sound. Acoustic will be either 560, LA2A. Usually that's fine. Electric guitar, it should be absolutely no compression. I don't compress electric guitar at all. Or what I do from time to time is using the only kind of compression that I use is a dynamic EQ on my electric guitar that I will trigger by the key source from a vocal. Let's say, just for fun, vocal channel 40. For this, hey, 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 is my talk back in channel 40? Yes, it is. Hey, 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 hey. What I do is set that to be below. So maybe a ratio of 60 is a little bit. But what I usually do is create a mid scoop that is triggered by the vocal in the guitar just a little bit, like 6 dB is a lot, maybe closer to 3 dB. And maybe that Q is a little tight. I'm gonna open up that a little bit, 0.5 as a starting point. That way, when I have my singer singing stuff, it's just lowering the mid in the guitar a little bit. A little, kind of like an auto mix. Lowering down the mid in the guitar when the singers come back. It's bringing up the mid-range in the guitar. Usually for guitar solo or rhythm section on the guitar while they playing. So, yeah. It's the only kind of compression or dynamic EQ that I can use in my guitar. Other than that, that's it. And for vocal, it's usually 1176 or, again, no stressor. No stressor is one of my favorite one, and the 1176 is just a classic that I love. So, there you go. How's the weather in Canada? There's about a foot of snow in my driveway that I need to shove out. And I'm going to do that after this live stream. So maybe today we'll go a little longer. I don't want to go use the snowblower. It's really cold, seriously. I got a call the other day from Arturo from Texas, and he was showing me his storage room where, you know, he says, oh, it's really cold today. It's like 40 Fahrenheit. And I'm like, oh, dude, it's minus 14 here in Canada. For those of you who run in Celsius, it's, I believe minus 14 Fahrenheit is like minus 10 Celsius. Right now, it's basically minus 10 Celsius outside with a foot of snow that I need to shove. So, yeah, there you go. That's the weather. That's the weather report in Canada. Back to you. No, seriously. Poncho already answered that. Manu, I go. I'm late, but I agreed 100% keyboard nowadays have really good preset. Even those cheaper. Yes, I just don't EQ them at all. I let them be. -5 in Sweden. Mid Sweden. Considering getting the TD headphone, the Bayer Dynamic, are you talking about the 770 Pro or the 990? I would personally get the 990. I believe they are more high-end, but the 770 Pro. This is what I used to use for a long time, and yesterday I did 8 hours of streaming with these on. I love them, spent 8 hours with them on my head, and I'm just feeling fine. I don't think it's painful today to put them back on. Really comfortable headphone, really good sounding. I know them really well, so I know how they sound to do mix. I recommend them. Anything negative to say about them as a con? No. Really good product. If I have to be 100% honest, I got them on a discount when I used to have a deal with Bayer Dynamic. Got them for cheap, but really worth it. Seriously, they are like $200. Seriously love them. Yeah, that's the comment about the DT770 Pro. Really love them. I recommend them. That, and if you want to go a little higher end for in-ears, I would say if you want to have in-ear over a regular headphone, because usually what I do is having, and I say that and I don't have my in-ears with me. Usually I carry around my in-ears with me all the time. So having in-ears headphone is a better option, more practical option for me. I just carry them in my pocket, and whenever I need to listen to something, I have them with me. If you want to go on the cheaper route, Shure SE 215 is a really good option for around $100 US. If you want to go all out, the 846 from Shure is just amazing sounding headphone. I love them. The dynamic that they have, the amount of low end from a bass drum that you can send into these and they do not get destroyed is awesome. So 846. Other than that, if you want to have regular headphone, 770 Pro, awesome choice. It's been a standard for the studio pretty much anywhere around the world. Look at Studio Session, everybody's using these, and some of them are like 20 years old, 30 years old, and they get beat up and they keep on going, they keep surviving, and you can buy all the parts for these. That's one of the advantage that you have with the Bayer stuff. A friend of mine used to want to replace his cushion, the gray stuff here. He replaced that, cost him like 20 to 30 bucks, and that's it. Put the new ones on and he's good for the next 20 years too. The Sennheiser HD 650, never heard of these, never tried them. I got nothing really against Sennheiser per se. I'm just not a fan of everything that they do, especially the newer stuff. I don't know why, but I'm a really huge fan of the 421. 441 microphone were awesome. But the newer stuff, like the 609 for the guitar, I'm not a fan of. The bass drum microphone, the 600 series, the 602, I believe, is one of the worst microphones that I ever heard on a bass drum. It's fine on a floor tom, but on a bass drum, I cannot stand it. So, yeah. Sennheiser. Yeah, never heard their headphone. I'm gonna leave it at that. Never heard their headphone. Maybe they're good. Never tried them. You need to push them more than the 70-6506 because these have low end frequencies into them. But yeah, but also, okay, something worth notice. The Bayer stuff, you have three options when it comes to impedance of these headphones. You have the 250 ohm, the 80 ohms, and the 32 ohms. If you want to drive them easily, get the 32 ohm version. If you have a really good amplifier, get the 250. Otherwise, the 80 ohm is fine. But if you have a really weak headphone amp, I would say get the 32 ohm version, not the 80. I like the new Neumann stuff. Neumann makes some really awesome stuff. I'm actually, my studio monitor are the Neumann, the DSP 80 HK80. I don't remember, but I have the Neumann stuff. Neumann makes great stuff, but Sennheiser, for some reason, not a fan of their mic. They're fine, but not fan of their mic. Most of the time I would choose something else other than like specific option for, let's say, for toms. I'm a huge fan of the 421. It's been a proven recipe for years. On guitar, 421 is awesome. Not a fan of this 906, not the fan of the 935. The 935 are just have that nasty boost around 9Ks. I despise it, especially for female vocal. It's like unsustainable for me. I would prefer to use a PV microphone over a 935. I'm not a fan of these microphones at all. Sorry, I still hear 9K. Frank, what's your process for setting up the level on your speaker in a live situation? Is it aiming for 0 dB best practice? Setting speaker level for speakers. Are you talking? Well, it's a really big, complex subject here, Frank. I want to make sure that I understand what you want to achieve here. Are we talking about setting up a PA, or are we talking about mixing for a PA? Process to set the level on your speaker in a live situation. If we're talking about amplified speaker, yes, I always put everything at 0 dB. That way I know that my VU meter on the console will tell me how much headroom that I have left before I clip the speaker. Usually this is why you leave them at 0 dB, or you don't want any attenuation or amplification of the signal that you send. Of course, if you are in a bad situation where your speakers are way too loud, turn them down. If you don't want, to mix your show here with your master all the way down. What I usually do is I set up my console so everything is roughly around 0 dB. I set my main out to be at the volume that I want to hear, and I make sure that my VU meter here is post fader, so that way I know how much headroom I have that I can push my speaker before clipping the amplifier, because you never want to clip your amplifier because you cannot push them any further than that, and you don't want to run everything at 100% all the time. You're just going to break them eventually, and it's probably not going to sound good. Probably. So I hope that answered your question, Frank. Sure, Beta 91 or Behringer 91. Never tried the Behringer, but I don't think it can keep up. I'm willing to try. I'm willing to try it in a situation where I have another extra input and I can put it next to my Beyerdynamic D71C or a Beta 91. I could try it. I'm willing to try it, but the other day somebody tried to not to force me, but said, I don't have the Beta 91, can I give you the Behringer one? And I was like, if that's my only option, the answer is no, but I'm willing to try it. Actually, if you guys, let me know if you guys want me to review the Behringer 91. Maybe I can buy it. I don't think it's really expensive. Maybe I can buy it and give you guys a unbiased, unpaid for opinion on YouTube. Because I do not, let me make something clear, I do not have any free gear or anything at all from Music Tribe for me to do these live streaming on the wing. Nothing. The only thing that I have is a little window to give me access to some of the new stuff that is coming, but no, anything else, I'm like a customer like everybody else here. Hey Tom, Sennheiser got some really cool stuff, but vocal mic and guitar mic, I must go with Handy here. I'm a fan of the Beyerdynamic stuff, so, or Shure. Shure is just fine. SM58 is just fine. Other than that, if I can get my favorite microphone, the Beyerdynamic V56, which is kind of like a condenser version, something close to a Shure Beta 87. If I can get my Shure, my Beyer V56, I'll take that any day of the week versus any other Sennheiser. After that, SM58. The SE Electronic, I had one experience with the SE. I was a little surprised because I was doing monitor and I was, the guy said, oh, you'll see it's like a 58 but better. So I said, okay, what's the pickup pattern on that? Tried to move the monitor a little bit to accommodate for the different pickup pattern, because I like to move around my monitor when I'm doing monitor for a band and I'm only doing monitor. I like to push on the speaker a little bit to like reorganize them where they are in the spot where they pick up less sound from the monitor as much as possible. and the SE gave me a little bit of trouble at first, but it went fine. But it would have been easier. I'm gonna be honest here. It would have been easier for me to use a 58 because I knew my monitor and I knew how to basically clip my amplifier without feedback if I really wanted to on monitor with a 58. The SE Electronic had more higher end frequencies and I was just surprised by it, so it gave me a hard time at first, but I got through it. Basically that's it. Okay, we've been going at this almost for 2 hours, guys. Thank you very much. A lot of people showed up today. We're still at 22. It's awesome. You guys stuck for a long time. I'm gonna finish that on a really cool phrase here from Andy. Vocal mics are also depending on the vocalist, and that is really true. There is no perfect vocal microphone. There's no perfect vocal microphone. There's just the one that fits you the best. For some people, it's a SM58. For some people, it's probably a Sennheiser 935. For some people, it could be the SE Electronic. Some people, it's the Bayer Dynamic V56. Just find the good one for you. Buy it. If you're a singer, buy your own microphone, especially after the pandemic. I can believe what people are putting their mouth up to in like on rental microphone. Totally disgusting. Trust me, from a guy that did bar for years, using the same SM58 every night and having a different person spitting into that microphone every night for a couple of years. I was basically touching the mic like this when I was putting them on the stage because I know who sang into that the night before. Personally, it's disgusting, but your choice. You're the one putting your mouth against that thing. Yeah, there you go, Andy. On that beautiful note, guys, I want to say, if you are not subscribed to the channel and you made it this far in the video, subscribe to the channel. If you want to support me in what I do and be like Chris Gryko or other people that show up in green in the chat right there, become a member of the channel. If you want to have one-on-one support with your wing or anything else, basically live sound related. I don't do studio stuff. I'll leave that to Glenn Fricker and the other studio guys out there. But if you want to have one-on-one help for live setup with the wing, other stuff, become a super member of the channel. It will give you 1 hour of free time with me per month. If you want to have, a month, work on your stuff, come back to me. We could do lessons every month. That way, become a super member of the channel, send me an email, and I'll give you your free 1 hour of one-on-one consultation with me. Until the next one, until probably next Monday. This time I will stick around for next Monday. I don't have any work. I don't have anything. Where should I upload the snapshot to? Zach, you should just send me an email. Include your snapshot as a attached file and I can take a look at it. Guys, thank you very much for being here. Until the next one, I want you to please take care of yourself. And I will see you guys next Monday. Now the question is, will my button just work or not? No, it's not. Have fun in the snow? I'll try to have fun in the snow. Okay, I have to manually stop that stream, guys. Thank you very much. See you guys really soon. Take care. Again, my knob is not working. I know. Don't laugh, Patrick. See you guys.